urgency. So what happens when you gotta go, you really gotta go, okay? Again, typically, when we feel that urge or that stronger urge, we should be able to walk calmly to the bathroom, make it there on time, no problem, okay? But for those of you who do have that strong urge, and for those of you who are starting to have leaking with that urge, what do? Well, what people tend to do when they feel that is start doing the pee dance, okay? Okay, oh my goodness, I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, so we may cross our legs, we may, start doing the little shuffle dance, we may try to run to the bathroom, all kinds of different, presentations there. But what happens is when you are doing some of this, when you are rushing, when you feel stressed, when you are crossing your legs, you're actually setting your pelvic floor up in a situation that it's not going to be able to activate as well. So we think we're holding it in, but in fact, we are inhibiting our pelvic floor to be able to do what it actually needs to do to kind of support us, okay? So what are some things that we can do? First of all, I want you to try to get in the habit as much as possible. And usually this is easier to do at home. At home we're in a safe environment. We know that we have all the accessories that we need, change of clothes, a little bit easier to do at home. But I want you to try to get in the habit of having a more calm walk to the bathroom, okay? That right there can help to start calming that system. Another thing you can try is breathing, okay? So you feel the urge. Okay, let me try some of that belly breathing, that diaphragmatic breathing, okay? So taking a few deep breaths, okay? Does that calm your urge? Okay, you know what? It calmed it a little bit. Now I feel like I can walk a little bit more calmly to the bathroom. For other people, sometimes contracting the pelvic floor can help calm that urge. So try breathing in, on the exhale, contracting pelvic floor. Maybe do that a couple of times. See how your urge responds. If that helps, again, little calming of the urge, walk calmly to the bathroom. So another interesting thing that you can do is go up on your toes. So you might think, okay, why would I go up on my toes? How would that impact anything? Well, the same kind of nerve pathway that impacts your bladder also innervates your calf. So by going up on your toes and activating that muscle, kind of leaning forward, maybe a little bit onto the balls of your feet, activating that calf can actually help to kind of send a signal to the bladder that can help during that process as well. This might be something, we start looking at what are some other situations that people have urgency. Running water. When I wash my hands, that's when I leak. Try going up on your toes as you're washing your hands, okay? So then that kind of leads us into, yes, people tend to have similar situations where this urgency, kind of comes on. So again, running water. Sometimes it's you've been out running errands and you say, oh my goodness, as soon as I pull into the driveway and I see my house, that is when I have my leaking. That's when my urge comes on and I just can't control it. Other times it's, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave the house. And if I hadn't gone to the bathroom before, I put my hand on the doorknob and that's when the leaking occurs. So you can start doing a little bit of behavioral training, a little desensitization. So when we talk about desensitizing, what we're doing is we're figuring out what is that trigger that creates the urgency. And what we want to try to do is expose ourselves to that trigger in a non-typical way. So for example, running water, you're doing dishes and that's when you tend to have some accidents. So I want you to periodically, just, as you're walking by, any point during the day, just turn on the water for a second. Maybe go up on your toes when you turn on the water. Another thing is positive self-talk, okay? using those words, I am in control of my bladder. I don't need to go to the bathroom now. Oftentimes, what happens is our thought process is different. We're thinking, oh my goodness, this is when I tend to have my accidents. Okay, oh great, I'm gonna go do the dishes and this is when I'm gonna leak. So right there, you're already feeding that brain bladder connection, that neural loop of setting the body up for thinking that it's gonna have an accident, and chances are you will. So by reversing that and saying, giving yourself that control, I can do this, and all this positive self-talk, that also can be helpful. So in the urge section, again, there's all of this stuff that different strategies that you can try. Another thing is, Kristen also has a video on here that talks about different sounds that you can make and how that impacts your pelvic floor, low tones, high tones, and how using some of those can also help with urge suppression. So check that video out too, as a resource. So lots of things that you can do. Play around with this. Again, sometimes you might find the first one works great for you. Great. You might find that different urge strategies work differently in different situations. So hopefully you're going to have this big, larger amount of tools in your toolbox that you can go to and you can play around with. It might take a little bit of time. Again, finding that right combination, but hopefully with you integrating some of this stuff along with some of the other things we've talked about in this lesson, you'll start to notice a change with some of these urges and your urge incontinence.